Good morning, YouTube, and today I'll be profiling my Amazons. This is a deck that I had a while back, and I got rid of it, but I saw the new support. I was like, oh, I gotta get them back. This is only actually 42 cards, just some really old sleeves, but let's get into it. Starting with our monsters, we have 3 of the Amazon Swordswoman. This is essentially in this version because it's more of a burn build. She is your boss monster because she burns. Your opponent takes all battle damage involving her. You got nice little tricks to keep her on the field too, and so she just becomes a powerhouse, especially with the new support. She's pretty awesome. We have 2 Amazon's Trainer because she boosts herself up each time she destroys a monster by battle, and she gets so much more attack points with the new stuff as well. And the nice part is that instead of getting sent to the graveyard, any monster she destroys by battle gets sent to the bottom of the deck instead. And so it's really nice when your opponent's trying to set up and you just prevent them from doing that. So I only run 2 because we have an interesting, like, weird monster lineup, and so I don't max out on too many of these. Next, I run 2 of the Amazon's Chainmaster. When she's destroyed by battle, she's an exchange, except you don't have to exchange. You just have to pay life points. This is really great. Like, you can take your opponent's zoo or whatever. And with the new Amazon's Princess, you can special summon her and like get her effect out pretty easily. I run 1 Amazon's Fighter. Mostly she's just kind of an additional Amazon's name to have in there for your village and other stuff. You don't take any battle damage involving her, which is pretty nice when your opponent's running like a piercing or like, Chaos Max. You don't take any damage, so it's pretty nice. 1 Amazon Sage. She's not very powerful in terms of attack, but she pops back row, which you kind of need. There's not too much of that in here, so I run her at 1. Next, we do run a playset of the new Amazon's Princess. Let me read her effect for you just real quick. She becomes Amazon's Queen while on the field or in the graveyard, which is going to help really when the fusions come out, which they aren't yet at this time. If she's normal special summon, you can add an Amazoness spell card or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use that once per turn. Whenever she declares an attack, you can send 1 other card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Special summon 1 Amazoness from your deck in defense position. Now, this is be really great in conjunction with queens. I don't have my queens anymore, but for this build, she kind of just suffices in terms of the whole burning aspect. So I keep her at 3, and I run 2 lava golems to round up the monsters. I like him instead of the kaijus in this build because he does the burning aspect, and really that's the main thing. I mean, he gets rid of 2 monsters, which is great, but the burning aspect is kind of what this version is focused on, so I run him at 2. Moving on to our spells and traps, we run 2 Amazon's Village. This gives a 200 power boost and replaces any Amazons that gets destroyed. It's not the best spell card, so we only running at 2, but it's still kind of exciting because there's so much floating you can do nowadays with this deck, and so I have to keep it there because it's still pretty darn good. Next, I run 2 Amazon's Heirlooms. If I had a third, man, I'd run it. Your Amazon's monster can't be destroyed once per turn by battle, and if you're after damage calculation, you can destroy the monster that monster attacks. So with the new trap card that allows you to attack twice, this becomes even more versatile because you like attack twice, destroy 2 monsters regardless of what happens. If you happen to have Swordswoman on the field, you're just set. It's pretty cool. Next, I run a playset of Amazon's Call. This is a Road on steroids. Let me read this one to you. Take 1 Amazon's card from your deck and add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. The graveyard effect's more so for like the fusion or like Call of Hanas if you run them. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target an Amazon's monster you control. That monster can attack all monsters your opponent controls, which is helpful with Heirloom. And it's an optional thing, so you don't have to attack each one of their monsters. You can only, but other monsters you control can't attack. But that's if you're going for 1 beater anyway, so that's pretty much what you want. So I run that at 3 because oh my goodness, this is definitely something the deck enjoys and appreciates and probably needs. 1 Reinforcement of the Army because Eroda is still good. 1 Magnum Shield for the gimmicky, boosting up your attack a whole lot. I might swap this out, especially like if I get another Heirloom, but it's still kind of nice because you can make Swordswoman 31, you can make Fighter and your Chainmaster at 28, so it's not too bad. It gives the opposite stat to that monster. Run a playset of MST because again we need back row destruction, and Twin Twisters kind of is a is a minus in one sense and isn't in the other. Twin Twisters is inherently better, I'll agree, but when in a deck that you kind of need hand support, I prefer to run MST. I run Double Dark Hole because just getting rid of monsters is cool. Moving on to our traps, we have an Amazonas Archers. Now this is still kind of gimmicky, but hear me out. Let's say you're going up against a Zodiac. Well, they're gonna focus all their emphasis onto one Zodiac card. And if you can stop that card, which in this deck I have many ways to stop it, you force every other one to attack you. And since they have 0 attack and defense, or low stats in general, this kind of helps you get around that, and it makes them lose 500 additional. So it's not too bad, in my opinion. I'm trying it out still. I've enjoyed it ever since I put it back in. I run 2 Amazonas Onslaught. This is the new trap card. Now, this is also the third one I need to read to you. Once per turn, during the battle phase, you can special summon 1 Amazonas monster from your hands. That's awesome. And if you do, it gains 500 attack and defense. Or just attack. Until the end of the turn. After damage calc, if your Amazonas monster battled an opponent's monster, while it's already face up as a spell trap card, you can banish that opponent's monster. So it does the heirloom effect, but it banishes instead. And if this card in the field is destroyed and set to the graveyard, you can target an Amazonas monster in your graveyard and special summon. So it's Call the Haunted, kind of, and that gives you an additional thing for your new Amazonas Call. It makes it really synergize pretty nice. Moving on, see, I was talking about preventing attacks. I run triple Magic Cylinder. We all know what that does. Triple Dimensional Wall. This essentially is a Magic Cylinder, but a little bit better because it doesn't target. But it's worse in the aspect that it doesn't negate the attack. Your opponent just takes all the damage that you would have taken. So it's not too bad, in my opinion. I played 2 Double Passé. This card essentially makes your opponent attack directly, and next turn, the monster that attacked, you can attack directly. It's a lot more complicated than that, but I'll let you read it if you really are interested in it. 1 Blazing Mirror Force, because, again, we're going for the burn aspect, so might as well throw in that. And playing a playset, you kind of get to the point where you take too much damage, so I kind of just leave it at 1. 1 Ring of Destruction, because it's at 1, and again, we're going for burn. And rounding up our traps, we run a Solemn Warning because, oh my gosh, it's such a good counter trap. Still really good to this day. Moving on to our extra deck, I used to not really go into this very much, but now you have the potential to do so much more, because you have this Mrs. Radiant here, because all of your Amazon sponsors are Earth. So you're going to be able to get this out pretty easily, and then you get attack boost and can go for additional stuff. We run a Decode Talker because he's pretty cool. It's a powerhouse, kind of generic. And a Firewall Dragon because he's really good. Moving on to our Xyz, we have a Zodiac Trident and a Zodiac Broad Bowl. Now this is already, you can go into Broad Bowl with just 2 level 4 monsters, but in addition, you can use your Chain Master to your effect, because nowadays everything's running Zoo, and you can just use their Zodiac cards and bring them out a little bit easier. It's just kind of a neat little fun gimmicky thing that you can do, but it's still pretty darn nice while you can. 1 Abyss Dweller because negating graveyard effects is awesome. Double Cowboy because doing burn damage is focused attack, so I double up on it. 1 Castell because Castell's Castell. 1 Heartland Draco because attacking directly with face-up spell trap cards is pretty cool. 1 Tornado Dragon to pop more back row. 1 101 because stealing your opponent's sponsors is not very nice, but it's awesome. And rounding up our rank 4s, we have the Utopia Lightning Package because it's pretty darn cool, and any rank 4 deck that has the room should play it. And that's going to wrap up my Amazon profile for you today. Now this is, again, it's more of a burn fun kind of a variant. There's so many more things you can do with it that gives you, it's so much more potential. The new stuff just gives it more exciting possibilities. We're seeing a bunch of replays. The unfortunate part is that we're still missing the fusions that are needed for the deck, so that's why I don't have the Baby Tiger. I do have one, but that's why I don't put it in there right now, because it doesn't really go with the emphasis on burn that I do. In terms of competitive-wise, it's not the best thing to go with, but it's still a very fun deck, and it's pretty budgety. The queens are around $10 at the time of this video, so that makes it a little bit difficult. In terms of the extra deck, you can go to rank 2 nowadays with your Baby Tiger. The Princess probably makes me want to put in some 3s, but the 4s are just so good that I want to keep those in there. And the Amazon's Queens will give you 6 possibilities, but she's great in herself, so you probably don't want to do that. This is this was the second deck I ever created, and that was back in the day when I used to run one of any card, and so I had every single Amazon's card in there that I could. But then progressively I You know, I put in more, grew as a player, and then I got rid of the deck, and then I saw the new support coming out, and I was like, oh, dang it, I need to make it again. But anyway, I'm always open to suggestions. Again, I'm trying to stick with the burn aspect of this particular build, but again, anything will be exciting to hear, and I want to see a build preferably that just includes the legendary duel support, doesn't include the fusions, because currently we don't have the fusions. So I mean, it's most of the builds you see out there right now are including those. So please give me your opinion. I hope you have a great day, and thanks.